Hey everybody, I'm Mark 3 SMLE, and today what I have for you is an Iver Johnson safety automatic. This handgun came out originally in the early 1890s, and in its final iteration it was produced all the way up until World War I, up until 1941. Now, this gun is infamous for having been used to assassinate President McKinley in 1901. Well, before we do that, I should show you how it works, but in any case, this was just an inexpensive working man's gun. It wasn't a Smith & Wesson, but these were relatively high quality and very innovative revolvers. You'll notice here, the hammer has no firing pin on it, and you have a transfer bar safety, which is something that really wouldn't show up in all revolvers until later on. And anyway, go ahead and tip it open. It's a bright top revolver, fires 32 Smith & Wesson short. Now, when Leon Czolgosz, the forgotten assassin who shot President McKinley with one of these, he did it up close, so close that he caught the president's clothing on fire. But we're at about 10 yards distance. Let's try a bit of one-handed double action. I've got to remind you, the sights here are very, very small. And to unload, press the latch, give it a nice tap. Three out of five, actually 4 out of 5 isn't bad, but let's see if I can tighten that up both-handed. Now, in those days, two-handed shooting was pretty rare, but let's go ahead and try it out. So much for being wildly inaccurate. 9 out of 10 on something a lot smaller than a man.
Yeah, those IPSC targets are basically vital zone.
The Iver Johnson safety automatic was really a boon in the early concealed carry handgun market. Before the days of permits, people just bought a gun and carried it in their pocket. It really wasn't any kind of uniform measure at all, but a lot of pocket guns came out, and the Iver Johnson safety automatic is probably the most popular of them all. It's a break top 32 caliber revolver, but they also made a slightly larger from 38 Smith & Wesson. You have a top latch here, and that lifts you up right there and have you auto eject. The gun is double and single action, so you can cock the hammer, pull the trigger, or just pull the trigger all the way through. There's a lot of misconceptions about these things, and that they're not very well built and not very inaccurate, but you saw now that this thing isn't an inaccurate weapon. But let's see how powerful it is.
Alright guys, we got this little Iver Johnson of Mark 3 SMLEs, and it shoots 32 shorts, and we're going to put it through the crony over here to see what kind of velocity we're getting out of it. .666. 677 and 637. Not bad. I'm gonna talk the Mark man into giving it to me. Alright guys, here we have this little Iver Johnson in 32 Smith & Wesson, and we have the 4 layers of denim up there. Let's see what another one of those bounce off your clothing cartridges can do. As a matter of fact, it did not bounce off the clothing. And as you can see, this is right next to the 22 wound tracks, and as you can see, they are larger than the 22 wound tracks. Let's see if we can find where the projectiles are. And there's one. And the other one looks like it must have gone out.
Is it right here?
Oh no, there it is. Alright, so they're both in the gel. And they both went, as you can see, beyond 12 inches. One's at 18 inches and the other's at 14 3/4. So both also passed the FBI minimum. Holy crap, that gel's hot. There's one. There's two.